It's late, but I'm here. How are y'all doing? Let me, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time and pull up the chat on the desktop, and then I can watch it from there. Seems to work the best. Can you hear me okay? It should be okay. I don't, last time I think it seems like it was okay. Hey, Karen. Hold on, let me just open it. For some reason, you guys know Sean's better at getting it to go, finding it quicker than I have to go like into my library and then find my own live stream. And then we'll get started. Your videos. I'm not very good finding it on the laptop. I will say that. Okay, live. There we go, yay. Uh-oh. Oh no, it says, my name is Mandi, soon to be Kirley. That is outdated. But anyways, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Let me go, hey Loretta, how are you? Anybody that, oh, I see what I did. Okay, let me do it. So for those of you who don't stream, there's YouTube Studio and there's YouTube, like your YouTube, and some things you have to do from Studio and some things you have to do from, there, got it. Hi, Colleen, how are you? Neener here for the mess. Earth, hey, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, Melinda. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Yes, I was like, let me do this before I go, hey, Paula. So I'm gonna stay on for about 30 minutes and we're gonna pregame, and then you can go over to Paula's if you so desire. If you don't talk about it in here because that's my friend. Okay, so what is everybody up to? It has finally stopped raining in Georgia. It literally rained the entire winter. Like, I'm not even kidding. I know y'all probably got tired of me bitching about it, but it literally rained the whole winter. And I'm not just talking about a little bit of drizzling. I'm talking about full on like pouring every day. The chickens would stand out there soaking wet, looking like little rats. And I'm like, you've got a coop, please go into it. But anyway, so that's how that went down. I would have rather had snow. I mean, it's funny because when I left Texas in 2020, it was 2020, right? Isn't that when I left, or was it 2021? Anyway, like the weekend we left, like Texas froze over. Do y'all remember that? And lots of people, oh, okay, no problem. She changed it to 4:45. I'm going to probably, yeah, you'll have like 15 minutes to hang over. Hey, Presley's fixed now. She had a little bit of problem with her account, but she's gotten it fixed. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. California was a wet, snowy mess all winter. Go figure. Yeah, at work listening. That's common. You guys know that I'm like, I can find something to piddle and do all day long, whether it's like getting ready for the yard sale, playing with the chickens, cleaning, whatever it is. So I always have like an earbud in my ear, like to hear whoever it was, but it was kind of slow today. Yesterday, it seems like there was a little bit more going on, but it was super slow today. So I was like, that's okay. I watched a documentary on, I guess, the gypsies in World War II that were in the concentration camps. A lot of people don't talk about that. But yeah, they were absolutely in those death camps too. So I watched a documentary about that. I like to do documentaries that you don't necessarily like, oh, let me take it off of Top Chat. Documentaries that you don't necessarily have to like see it. You can just listen to it. That's Sawyer and the cat. They love each other. They're boys, but he's about her size, or he's about his size. It's so cute though. I love it. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you. You do too, Neener? Yeah, it's hey, stitching. It's really good for people who like have to sit in traffic and stuff like that. they do the same thing if it's someone that you don't really have to look at. And some people though, like MFW, you kind of have to be watching because there's so much that goes on when she's got her stream going, and she doesn't really stream during the day. But I found that one in particular, you kind of have to have you have to be watching it. But there's probably other people like that too that y'all can name. But that was what I watched. And it's sort of depressing, and I didn't realize that it was literally like super, like really depressing me until like I had watched it long enough that I was like, okay, these things are not up, like they start to weigh on you. So I took a little break and now I'm back. Yes, Karen. Hey, Gothic. Yeah, so that's my I'm glad to hear that, Karen. I guess we know everything, but I didn't know that about Karen. It's amazing what they endured. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a staggering number. Yes, breaks are always good. Breaks from documentaries, from the internet. Oh, you're into it too? We're into, yeah, I'm glad to know that, because I sometimes feel like I'm kind of strange for like to learn so much about it, but I feel like it's kind of our obligation to those people who lost their lives to make sure it never happens again, and to watch it and understand what happened, and realize that education is key. Like educating yourself, because it can happen again. It has happened again. Okay, Presley, but it has happened, not on the scale, but close. So that's kind of, and my son is really into documentaries. It's a huge part of history. And I especially like to watch the ones where they talk about when the Americans came, hey, Mama Ricky, when they came to liberate them, like when they finally got to it, and the recounting of these American soldiers who walked up onto the bodies, walked up onto these people that didn't even look human anymore because they were so emaciated. And then there was a whole other set of challenges because they freed them, but they didn't have the resources to feed them. Like these people are walking out and they're starving, and they've got whatever they've got on them. You know what I mean? And people may talk, crap about this country or whatever, but when you listen to those soldiers talk about it, and they weren't all just American soldiers, there were different ones from the Allied forces. But when you hear them recounting it and what they did, just what they jumped into action and did, it's kind of amazing. It's certainly something that was ingrained in their mind forever. And some of them, of course, were Jewish American soldiers, and they're looking at this going, oh my gosh. Now there's a little bit of controversy, of course. How much did we know, and when did we know it? But I don't really go into watching that. Oh, and I also cannot watch documentaries about the POW camps with the American soldiers. That I can't handle it. I just can't. But again, I've tried it because I want to give the respect to those people who went through that, but it's so hard to watch. I don't watch war movies. I don't watch war movies about Iraq or Vietnam, or, the Civil War, I guess I have, but the ones kind of in the later years, I don't watch anything about. You like documentaries, historical, business, lifestyles, etc. How many of you watch those, the ones where they go walk through abandoned houses? Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me see if I can pop out the chat. There, you can still do that. I didn't know that. There we go. The ones that they go in through houses that are abandoned, and sometimes they're like houses that were boarded up and haven't been touched in years, but they yeah, exactly, Karen. That's the reality. I like to talk to Clara. She has a wealth of knowledge about a bunch of things, but I like to talk to her about the Holocaust and that kind of thing, because you know, she has a keen understanding of it for many reasons, but part of it is because she is Jewish. So you do. Okay, so this one abandoned house, this is so funny. This has become a running joke. The guy's going through it and he's looking and you know, it looks like it could be abandoned, but it's not like super abandoned. So he goes to the fridge and he goes, "Oh wow, the electricity is on. How crazy is that?" And he opens the fridge and he's like, "Oh wow, there's even milk in there." I'm like, "Bro, you just broke into someone's house." You know what I mean? I'm like, you might want to get out, depending on which state you're in. But he did. He goes, "Oh, there's milk and the electricity is on. How crazy is that?" I'm like, I think it's somebody's house. You might want to go. But there's some that where they open up like a French mansion that hasn't been opened in years and years and years and go through it. And those are like the really big name ones. Because some of the younger ones, like earlier, like the newer ones, they'll kind of, they'll sometimes I think that it's a house that's already been gone through, but there's a couple of really, really major, like, you know, ones that have a lot of views that they did actually go into a house that hasn't been opened since, like, you know, the 1910s or whatever. Yeah, so the other thing, hold on one second. I popped it out and then it went back to pop chat. Yeah, Karen and I do watch a lot of the same things, and like things that I'm embarrassed to admit that I watch. And she's like, "I watch those too." Like I don't think Karen watches the blackhead videos. I think only I do that. But I I think Karen watches the jigger removal videos. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she is. So, wow, what I'm talking about, Paula, I was like trying to make sure there's not a comment I missed. Yeah, so thank you, Karen, a little Colorado money. Yes, thank you. We want to have a amazing time. I have this image that when we go and we go out to eat every day for dinner, and it'll be me, my dad, and my son and his wife, and then if the little one, the little one gets to come, well, she's older, but if she gets to come, I just kind of want to be like, "We got it." You know what I mean? We got it. And that's kind of what it's for. And then he deploys or whatever. So I just want him not to have to worry about anything, just having a really good time with us and a lot of laughs, and we got this. Yeah, not when I've gotten in later years, I can't really watch them anymore. Thank you though, Karen, for real, thank you. I've gotten to where I can't, hey Alex, watch them like I used to. And this is when Sean and I first got together. I would love for him to look over and look at it, because his reaction, you know, I love his reactions. He would look at it and be like, and it was like priceless. It was a priceless reaction, and I love it. So that's why, but now he's so used to me watching it. And like I said, we got his glasses like a year ago at Target, and I don't think like he realized at the time that the contacts, like his contacts before were fine, but these contacts became where, thank you. We went, oh, I would love to see that Yorkshire. I would love to. I wanted to go with Ava Core. She passed away, but she was one of the twins that were always photographed walking out, those two tiny little girls in the big bulky jackets. She would take tours over there. And ironically, she was on one of those tours there. Thank you, Presley. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you. She was a little extra trip, see your son. Thank you. She was ironically on one of those trips when she passed away. Isn't that eerie? Like, you know, it's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's eerie. But yeah, so that's that. Oh, so his contacts. He can't, like, when he has the contacts on, he has to hold things way far back, or it doesn't work. And you know, he didn't tell me until probably about a week after we got them, and we should have gone right then and said, you know, the contacts that you're giving us that we have, these are not like the ones before. This didn't happen. So he wears his glasses. He got the glasses. Now, y'all know I think he's sexy as hell in his glasses. But what's in particular sexy to me, if I go look at this and he puts his glasses up on his head to look at it, I don't know if it's like, because it's an age thing and I think that it's so hot that he's older, or I don't know what it is about it, or the way that he quickly does it so he can see what I'm showing him. But I find that to be hot as hell. I've told him that before. I think that's super hot. You know how it is when you think something is like extremely sexy, like with your man, your woman, your whatever it is that you have that's your significant other. And it's always the strangest things. I mean, there's a lot of things you think are sexy about them, but sometimes the craziest things are the ones that you like, yeah, that's hot. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it be cool if we could all have a get together, Paula? Wouldn't it be cool if we could all have a get together? Like when Katie said she was going to invite 60 people over to sleep in her backyard and they could have like a party. And I was like, I don't think you can fit 60 people in your backyard. But that, and then I was like, what is she going to do when all those people show up? She literally invited the whole chat. She's like, y'all know my address. And she invited the whole entire chat. She goes, even haters, y'all are welcome. I was like, can you imagine? Someone shows up and they're like unrolling their sleeping bag. Oh, what's your name? I'm Miss Fucking Nobody. And then it would turn into a carnage. You know what I mean? Like, right. We need to go, hey, Justine. Yeah, we all need to go. She said haters too. So I'm like, let's barbecue. I'll bring the sliders. Karen makes a very good potato salad. She'll make the potato salad. Presley makes I got the Dr. Pepper. Presley makes a bacon spaghetti that she still needs to give me the recipe for. That is supposedly out of this world. She's just forgotten to send it to me, but she will. I'm like, bacon spaghetti. Yeah, I want the recipe for that. And then I want the watermelon aloe waters, and I'll take that. And just take my magic mouthwash so that like I can numb my mouth, because you know my watermelon aloe water irritates my mouth. It doesn't soothe it, it irritates it. No, it soothes it. Appetizers, that's what, okay, like macaroni, okay, I have macaroni salad, potato salad. Stitching can probably make, oh yeah, you're right, Stitching, she probably does it. Stitching can make something very domesticated. She's good at that stuff. Neener's gonna call it. That's, you watch out for any events that need the cop to be called. That's good. And then we'll all show up. It would be kind of a cool reality show, right? Because she says that if you knew her in real life, if you just knew her in real life, it's totally different. Yeah, I wouldn't drink any booze. You leave that to the other ones. Oh, banana pudding, I love it. Okay, that means we need brisket, because if you're gonna have banana pudding, you need beef brisket with it. So it's turning into quite the feast. But I'm gonna be honest, I might get a hotel room and not stay there. I'll go stay at the Motel 6. We've got frequent points there. We're there all the, so people think. We get our card stamped at the Motel 6, I'm good. Any of you want to stay in the room with me? It is all of the finest amenities that a Motel 6 has to offer. Hey, Ju. Oh, quiche. Sean loves quiche. Send me that recipe too. Sean loves quiche. The occasion is where Katie invited everyone, even the haters, to go to her house and sleep out and hang out for a few days. She's gonna provide music. She said we probably all need to pitch in a couple $100 a day. Sounds legit. So a couple $100, there's 60 people. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of booze. Yeah, that makes me hungry for beef brisket. Oh, really? As good as home? Now I'm hungry for that. Hey, Anna Nicole. I'll be on for like, oh, actually no, because she said 4:45, so I've got a little wiggle room. And then I'm gonna turn it over to Paula. Paula, are you gonna do a reaction? Like, it'll be on her channel, but are you gonna do a reaction? I don't know like what there is to react to. But let's break Casey on. Yes. Okay, so Karen has a massive backyard. Karen and I both have chickens though. So you need to, tread with caution, or put on those tall, what are they called? Like boonie boots, Karen? That's what I wear when I go out there. I slip them on, and then those tall boonie boots. And then I, of course, leave them like right by the door on the outside. Woodstock. I know. We business appreciation night at all business can be played. Oh, how fun. The funny thing about that, Presley, is when I went to get this Ford Edge, well, the truck was there and I went to look at what we could trade it in for. I was with my father-in-law. They were having their like little Christmas celebration. And, but of course, you know, they got to sell cars. That's what they do. So we were walking around the lot, popped the hood on the truck because he, you know, he wanted to see like literally how this happened because it's such an anomaly. The spark plug blew and went into the engine, and he's like, in all of my years I've never. So we looked at it, and bless their hearts, they're like, we're almost done, I was like, no, take your time. So we went to the Waffle House, and I forgot, you have a back 40. I knew that. Yeah, put them back there. But anyways, so then I go sit down, like when it finally opens back up with the girl, and I'm like, look, if it's gonna take months and months, what do you have? And anybody who knows, up until recently, cars were being sold off the production line, like Rangers and those types of trucks literally were being sold. I am too, Justine. Literally were being sold off the assembly line. And when they would get delivered, the person would pick it up. So I was like, look, I'm about immediate satisfaction. I don't want to, you know, if it's going to take whatever long for the truck. And I was like, I've discussed it with the hubs. Father-in-law's here. We're ready to talk about it. And they said, well, we have an Edge. Now, in my mind, I guess I thought the Edge was like a Ford Focus or maybe even like a Ford Escape. And I don't know why I had an image in my head that I just wasn't crazy about it, but I was like, well, let me sit in it and try it. So we're walking up to it and I see it and I'm like, that's an Edge. And she was like, yeah. And I like fell in love with it. Now, I don't understand why the trade was made and within a week, the truck that was supposed to have a new engine needed and had some body work to be done was already being sold on the website. And it was sold before it, like, I'm like, but to be honest, between you and me, I love this Edge so much more than the truck. Sean likes his Kia. It's an Optima. He loves it, runs well. He can pump his satellite in it, even though it's like an older stereo system or whatever. But I like it. I don't know why people want to down my Ford Edge. I love my Ford Edge. We can pay for it just fine. But anyways, I had a stereo put in my daughter's car and now nothing but electrical issues. Wow. I have, okay. You did like your Escape. When I went through my divorce, I had the Chrysler 300. But the ex had a Ford Explorer. It was I think it was a 2019 or 2018 or something like that. I liked the Explorer, I did, but I think I liked the Edge more. Don't tip the cat tower over. Go Scout, go Scout. See, during the day when it's not bedtime, he's all wild, but then when y'all see him when we go live at night, he's like ready for bed. Yeah, the Escape is too small. Presley sent me a picture of the 2023 Chevy Blazer and it was like blacked out, like the decals were black, it had black rims. That was a sweet looking car. Is it even still there, Presley? I bet y'all already sold it. Thank you. I like it. And I pay for like the unlimited car wash thing, which is now a thing with places. Hey, Sawyer Brown, we're almost done. It's like now a thing with most car wash places. Like you're not going to pay $25 for a car wash when you can get the package and do it. And hey, Sin, I get my money's worth. If I'm in that area, I go through it. Like, yes, I do. I told y'all about the catastrophe where it wasn't a catastrophe, but the guy that when it turned green for him to go out, he didn't go and just everyone got pushed into each other. And it made little dents, but that's all it did. $75,000 for the Blazer. I heard that a fully loaded Chevy Suburban right now is almost $100,000. I figured you did, Presley. Sold it yesterday. $100,000. When did I mean, Suburbans are nice, but I never thought there would be a day you got to drive it. that there would be a day when a car that's not like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, that a Chevy would be like that much money. You know what I mean? I don't think Scott wants to play with you, Sawyer Brown. We went out just before we went live. And it took him forever to come in. I'm like, come on, come on. And he'd stop and sniff the air, and then he'd come a little bit further. And yeah, for 100, I can't even imagine what the payment would be on that. Like if you did it for 60 months, someone who's good at math, what would be, someone figure that out. If it's $100,000 for 60 months, it's 60 times 12, right? So 60 times 12. And don't you divide that by the 100,000, right? Or you reverse that. The 100,000 gets divided by the 60 times 12, right? Isn't that how it works? Hey, April. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Let me tell you, no, you know how gas prices are now like obviously they go up and they come down and they go up and they come down. But when we lived in, oh my God, Loretta, when you, this one had everything but the kitchen sink, and the lighting inside is amazing. Is there a car that exists? Oh, 68, that's about right. Is there a car that exists that has like a freezer in it or a cool, like that's like literally like in the back? Because sometimes I get groceries and then I think of a couple more stops I need to make. And especially the frozen stuff. I'm like, if there was just a small like freezer, like not a huge one, but a small one in it, that would be like so beneficial. And there might be in some car, but you have to have the compressor, I guess. That's the problem. You'd have to have like the compressor or whatever. But anyway, I try to go back to what I was talking about before I go on a tangent so that people aren't like, and I've done pretty good. But, oh, into the city lighter. Okay. Oh, when I lived in England, that's what it was. And this was in the 90s. The British were used to, they called it petrol there, their prices being ridiculous. And we're not talking per gallon. They sold them by the quart, I believe. It was on a gas pump. Hey, baby. It was on a gas pump, but it was sold by the quart, and not the gallon. And so, and it was to fill up your car. And this is funny because now we know with gas prices now how much it is. Have a good day, Presley. Love you, girl. Thank you for the help, the Colorado Fund. It would be about $40 or $50 to fill up a little bitty car. And now, you know, with the prices we've seen, it's not that bad. But luckily, we could get gas on post. They had a little post there. Hey, Icy, owned by the British. The Royal Air Force owned this post, but it was a joint base. And so we got to get gas there. And the British were like so jealous because they couldn't get it. You had to have an ID card that showed that you were an American. Hey, Gigi Lemon. So, yeah, it was like, and of course, people would ask, but if you pulled up, like, there was one guy that worked at the gas station, and he was like the master. And if someone pulled up in a car with the steering wheel on the other side, which does happen because people buy their cars from the British and they may be Americans, but he was so good at figuring out the we're going in a second. He was so good at figuring out the people that were just like hooking up the British friends or whatever. Hey, Callie, it's good to see you. Sawyer this is what he has. So because he can't, he's had this for a while and he hasn't destroyed it. This is his baby. We need to wash it again, but it's from Tractor Supply, and it's a little chick, and he's so gentle with it. It is his baby, right? That's your baby. And he carries it around very gingerly. That's your baby. That's how I get him to come inside sometimes, is I'm like, let's go get your baby, right? Your baby. I know, sweetheart. I'm almost done. you know how he is. He'll do that for a while and then he'll go lay down and be like, that's what he does. Let's see. I came back to the topics at hand pretty well, like without going out chasing a squirrel and talking about something completely random. I feel like what is it called? I don't take it. Was it ginseng? Is that what's supposed to help memory? Is ginseng, right? I feel like I'm sharper than I used to be. Just kidding. You have a little one named Jack. That's cute. Yes, Sawyer has a baby. He is a cutie. He's we take him in his little stroller. Like I said, I take him to like wherever I go. Usually, if we're not gonna go eat or something, I take him in his stroller, and nobody has any idea there's a dog in there. And you would be surprised at how many people used to remember when you would push a stroller with a baby, and you would almost have to stop people from touching all over it because of they haven't washed their hands. I was a little bit of a paranoid mom, but you know what I mean? Like their natural reaction would be to touch your baby and stuff like that. So this lady, thank you, this lady was like, oh, I thought there was a baby in there, and the screen thing zipped, so it deterred people from grabbing them and running, and so that people didn't put their hands all over them. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I was like, people would die though if you had a baby with like a screen stroller zipped. Like just seeing it alone would send people like, but it makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, how are you, Clara? We were talking earlier about how a lot of us watch documentaries on the Holocaust. And I was saying that not only do you have a wealth of knowledge about a lot of things, but that in particular, you're able to answer a lot of questions. I would do a stroller with my poodles. They both have arthritis, plus they would love it. Yeah, I got it from Petco. It was like, you remember when we got it? The house was empty and we just had the stroller and everyone was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, no, that's not it. It's for the dog. Turned out to be a really, really good purchase. At first on was like, oh no, we're those people. And I was like, no, it's gonna come in beneficial. And so that's what we did. Hey, Dark Princess, how are you? Kaki changed her name again. If it wasn't for the picture, I wouldn't be able to keep so it is 4:40. I see that. So it's 4:40. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you're inclined to do so, Paula will be probably doing a review. It's hilarious. I'm sure Moxie will join her. If not, I hope you have a fabulous afternoon. I know this is a short stream, but I wanted to pop on here before I headed out to Tractor Supply and say hey to y'all and thank you for everything. It's huge. It's huge. We put it all into one account, and like I said, we're gonna have an amazing time before he deploys, and that's what it's all about. So you can call it e-begging, dry begging, whatever you want to call it. I call it being a mom. There you go. Have a good night. Thank you again for hanging out in the super chats and just your support in general. Love you guys too. Have a fantastic night. Bye.